Hi, today we're here with Russ Wegner, and we're going to be talking about real estate and his business.
Hi, John. My name is Russ Wegner with Professional Realty Services International. Thought I'd share some things about myself which you might find interesting. I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. I went to college in Washington, D.C., where I achieved an MBA and a finance degree from George Washington University. I then went to the San Francisco Bay Area and I worked in corporate finance, human resources, corporate cash management, and I had a very interesting career in high technology. I then took a left turn and I started an event planning catering company in San Francisco, which I owned for 17 years. Probably I catered 100 weddings. The catering those weddings, I really feel ties into my real estate because it allows me to deal with the business and personal aspect of doing the service that we do. And I really enjoyed that part of things. I hence moved up to Camas in 2006 with my two lovely daughters, and I became a master gardener with my wife, who I'm approaching 20 years anniversary this coming July 4th. We love our property. We are both master gardeners. I grow hops, I homebrew, I do an annual hop picking barbecue everyone's invited to, and we really understand the outdoors being master gardeners.
So, Russ, let's talk a little bit about real estate. Why do you like being a real estate agent?
Well, let me tell you, John, I love my home and I treat other people's homes as if they were my home. And if they're selling their house, I know it's a very personal thing to sell their house, and I know it's a very personal thing to buy a house. So I look at it from my viewpoint if I were them. So that's one of the reasons I like it. I like the personal interaction. I like the responsibility of taking care of people, and I dive deep into details of the process.
That's all great. So, let's talk a little bit about real estate specifically. So, we've seen a lot of prices going up and down recently. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the market.
Interesting time we're having in the market, John. We saw prices in June of this past year reach a peak in Clark County. $611,000 was the average home price just this past June. And then as recently as January, we saw at a 550,000, 60,000 average dollars average price decrease. Now people ask me, say, well, what should I do? This fluctuating market. I say things are stable overall. And I want people to understand that you should buy and sell a home based on what you need to do for you and your family in your own personal situation because home prices overall are stable.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit about specifics. What are some of the things I should think about when I'm selling my house?
Well, the big three we look at on why a home might not sell could be price, condition, and location. Those are what we call the big three. Uh, Price, if you don't do a good comparative market analysis, which is called a CMA, you won't know the comparables for making sure your price of your home is appropriate to the market. So that is one big one. The other one is the condition that the home is ready for sale. It's going to show well. It's going to curb appeal, all those things. And then the location, of course. You want to be in the right neighborhood. And you don't want to have things like a central transfer facility nearby.
So, Russ, what are some of the things I should think about when selling my house?
Well, some key items are the price in terms of price per square foot. You can equate a home to another home in terms of whether you're pricing correctly, looking at price per square foot. You can also look at will this home show well? You want to make sure that the house is in condition that it doesn't have any unusual defects or problems that might stand out when somebody walks in the door. You want to make sure that your marketing is going to be very well done in terms of using all the social media and the signage and the various marketing tools, which we have great access to. And you want to make sure that you're going to be okay if you deal with a multiple offer situation and how to navigate uh, various scenarios of different types of financing approaches people might have towards how they want to buy your home.
That's great. Let's shift gears and talk about buying a house. But before we talk about buying a house, I've been seeing on the web all these things like Zillow or Redfin and things like that. What's important about hiring you as a real estate agent as opposed to looking about it online? And then tell us a little bit about what we should look for as a buyer.
It's a good question, John. As an agent, we have access to tools that the average consumer cannot access. Those tools include going deep into the MLS, utilizing the county geographic information system, which has permit histories. We go to title and we get the preliminary title reports, which I always go over in detail to make sure there's no issues with clouds on the title, things like that. We also can talk to the agent and talk to them about things that you might not get typically on paper, things that they may share with you just by having those conversations. I really like to research a home and look at all the history from remodeling to work that may be done to repairs. I think the more you research and get to know that home, the better. Then you want to be looking at disclosures. You may want to look at how your inspection is handled and how you answer that inspection and get the necessary repairs that are done. You want to take care of a lot of details, and we also have to follow a strict timeline of dates for how we handle that paperwork and how it's turned in on what dates when, and follow the correct procedures on forms. Those are all critical parts of the process.
Well, that sounds great. That sounds like you really know what you're talking about for both selling a home and for buying a home. Do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to leave with us?
I like to make sure my clients have a plan. Do they really know what they want? Have I gone through what they're truly looking for before we go out to either buy or sell a home? I like to look at it from my own personal viewpoint. I feel the client is number one, and I always am available for you if you need me. I keep myself available as part of my trademark of my service. Your home is my priority.
Thank you very much.